Hey Ginger Boy, welcome back to Lunar Magic 101. It's been a little while since I've actually made one of these. So this time, I think what I would like to go over is I know I kind of touched on creating new map 16 tiles, which is all well and good and something everyone should know how to do. But how about changing graphics up and maybe mixing tile sets? That's something I've not gone over yet. So let's just start here. We have our normal grassland, and it's like, well, what if I want some of this, ghost house, ghost house stuff in there? Well, pretty much the easiest thing to do is to go and look and be like, okay, well, it changes area 3 and 4 of the overworld stuff. Technically, it's foreground 1 to background, foreground, something like that. But, so if I go back down, it's like, okay, well, it's only this bottom portion that's really changed. So that's actually pretty easy to get. What you're going to look for is you click this red poison mushroom, and that will open up the Super GFX bypass. And you're not really going to click anything on here. You're just looking for this, the foreground 3, FG3, which will be 07. So what you want to do is you take that 07, you go back down to your level, open up the graphic bypass, click enable, and then put it in either background 2 or background 3. Even though it says background, you can use it as a foreground tile. So just coming up here to 07, and now we can look. Here we go. We actually have our ghost tile set that we want under the pages. So, yes, I want to save. I'm actually just going up to make sure there isn't anything else. There might be some stuff that I want in the other background. So I can go and say, okay, it's OC. So I'm just going to go and change this to OC and this one to 07. There we go. Save that. So now I have the ghost house stuff. And I can actually do one further and go to the ghost house and open up, this. And then see, have all these nice graphics all laid out and everything. And if you really wanted, you can just select, the part of the page that you want. Probably only down to about here is what you would need, if that. So just select, well, there's some more stuff down there. So I'm just going to select the whole bottom half and then go to whatever free page underneath where I put my first two and just paste that in. And then this one really is kind of the same. I'm just going to copy. Actually, I'm not going to need that whole everything. So I'm just going to go here underneath that part and paste that in. So that ended here. So there's still a little bit more stuff. Here it is. So it actually carried over the page. I didn't know it would actually do that. So with that being the case, I'm going to go and paste that there because it'll carry over. And now you can kind of go in and get rid of what you're not going to be using off of this tile set. It's like, I'm not going to use those. Those are already part of the original one. I think anyway. Yes, they are. So what do we want to do now? Here's the big the big question is, what do we want to do now that, all of these are not correct? Well, that's actually pretty simple. You just select everything, and you have to use a remap. Is it remap? Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. I was just making sure of something, and yes, so you just want to select everything, say remap, and then add an offset. For this, it would be an offset of 100, and that will put everything to the correct page, just not the right palette, only for the fact that palettes don't carry over as well. So pretty much I now have everything set up to look like these. So I do have stuff set up to look like these for the most part. There are a few things that are kind of wonky in it, but I'm not going to worry about that all too much. One thing that we will need to do is mess with the palettes. Palettes are not always the easiest thing to work with, for the fact that if you look, these top two, what do I want to do? Enable. One thing that I always want to do, or you would always want to do, is enable custom palette. Anyway, so these top two palettes here are background. For the most part, they can be used as foreground color, but they're mainly saved for the background unless the background only takes up one palette. And then it's only the first half right here. So essentially from here over here, that is background. And then from here over here, actually I'm wrong. It's that is background, and then this is status bar and a couple other things. So you don't really want to mess with the top two palettes. The other palettes are perfectly fine down to this row, this one right here. The reason for that is this row here going down all the way down here. All of these are for sprites. So I completely, that's not an R. You didn't see that. It's a gigantic P. There. I'm not, I can't spell right now. Yeah, so pretty much palettes 8 through F are for sprites. And you can tell which palette it is by if you hover over it. So hovering over it there, you have these numbers down here. This 8 there or this 8 there signify the row. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Technically, it's actually 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, and F. So, as I showed, this number here will tell you which decimal number it is, and this one will tell you which hex number, and you want to follow that hex number, because that is actually the correct one. Kind of like the other ones, they will tell you which position of 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way across to 15, but it's actually F, and then going down the row. So, pretty much always look at these numbers because they are correct. They are hexadecimal, and it's the one that you actually want it to look like. And then it also gives you your PC RGB values and the SNES RGB values for palettes and stuff. So, very useful. Very, very useful to watch out for. But so back to this and actually what I was showing off. So what I did when I pasted them over and then said remap. Yeah. When I said remap, what the tile offset was for was changing which spot it's reading from in the tile editor. So originally, let's just say this one, this tile right here was F8 as it was originally. F8. So it was just blank. And because it was blank, if I added 100 to it, an offset, it would turn it into these like two bars. And the reason for that is it moved it up to 1 F8. And 1 F8 is somewhere over here. Right there. That is 1 F8. So it actually added 100 to the page view. And so you can actually kind of do that pretty easily. It's like, okay, it's at 1 F8. I want it to be over here at 1 F, or it's at F8, and I want it to be 1 F8. Well, now let's do something a little bit different to explain it a little bit better. So I have right here, let's change it to C8, C9, D8, and D9. And the reason why I'm choosing those is that is a perfect square right here. Well, what if we wanted this square? So that's how it's reading right now, is right here. What if we wanted it to read from here to this Monty Mole right here, which is 1C3? So it's not a huge jump. This is C8 and this is C3, but that's not actually 100. So the best way to do this, pulling out your calculator. I have mine set up to programmer and basic, and that will give me hexadecimal values. And so what I want to do is add, we'll start at this top corner, 1C3, and then subtract and go, not what I wanted to do, C8. So 1C3 minus 1C8, and that will get FFFFFFFFB, repeating. Byte. So FB. So I'm going to go, and it should be, if I remap FB, I get a Monty Mole. There we go. The reason why I had all sorts of extra little characters when I did that, 1C, I don't remember what it was, 1C, 1, come on. This thing is being frustrating. 1C3, as I thought. 1C3 minus C8. And the reason it was that big, actually, I'm not really sure why it was that big, because it shouldn't have been. There it goes. Anyway, this is pretty much the different links of hexadecimal slash binary, octadecimal. Yeah. So because of that, you can shorten it up, and Super Mario World works in bytes, so you want to use that one. I didn't say that at first, but that is what you want to use, is bytes. So that is why this remapping thing worked. I'm actually going to go and get rid of this and make it a little bit easier on myself. Another way I can go and do this, which is going up here. So let's say I want the crates. So just get the crates here. Little extra bits of crate. Get the bottom. I'm missing one part of it, which is the center top, which I'm not sure where that is, though those should be those are just, I think, leftover bits of cratage. Where is the center top? Does exist. I know it does. That's very weird. There it is. Center top, and then grab that little platform thing, and I'll just say that's good for now. So that's all I want from that tile set. Let's just say, well, actually, before I say that's all I want this piece, and I want that piece. And then I also want the railing. I know, look at that. I've decided over and over. I'm like, more things, more things. So that's all I want this time. So now I can come down here, do the remap. It's exactly 100. And then that one, just get rid of that. And then it's like, oh, those are horrible pallets. Well, horrible pallets because they're using pallet number 2. And here's where the fun part comes in. This is pallet number 2. Pallet 2 is pretty much the basic land pallet. This one is for brown used cement blocks. This one's for some other stuff. Green one's mainly for pipes. Yellow one's for coins. The blue one is for water and some other things. But as we can see, there is a bunch of extra black space here. If you enable custom pallets, you'll get to be able to use this black space, which I'm actually going to take advantage of. So I'm going to come up here, and it's using pallet 2. Let's see if I do this right. Not that. Control. And then Control Alt. There is a shortcut key for copying a pallet row. I just don't remember how to do it. So now I don't want to save. I believe, though, if you control left click, you can then go right click, and yes, and save. Control left click, down, right click, save. This is the second easiest way to do it. It is not my preferred way, because I would have much rather copied in the pallet row, but that also screws things up, and I can't remember exactly. I think it's that, and then I can go. Yes. No. I don't remember. I don't remember the shortcut. Yeah, there's a few shortcuts. Maybe it's Control Shift left click and then right click. Yeah, I don't remember the shortcut key for it, but it copies a pallet row, this whole pallet row, and then you'd paste it and you'd paste that whole pallet row. That is good if you want to copy a whole pallet row, but it can get in the way if you only want, these 5 colors. Anyway, now that I have these 5 colors, I'm going to select these, change the palette to palette 5, and then things are still screwed up. Well, that takes a bit more tweaking by going over to here and pretty much essentially changing the palette to use. I'm actually going to do this a little bit easier, and I'm going to say, okay, not very many things are using this gray palette in my level. So I'm just going to go over and copy stuff onto that gray palette and then say, okay, well, nothing is using that. That works for me. So there we go. Change it to palette 3. Change to palette 3, and there we go. I have some completed things. Though, oops, that is not what I wanted to do. I do have some pieces here from when I switched it over, adding 100 to it. You can run into some issues like that, but that's okay. Easy enough to fix. So now I have all of these. You can actually, I'm actually going to set all of these to act like 25. This is going to act like 100. Act as 100. So those are 25, those are 100. This will act as 25. And then these will act as 30. Just make sure I have all that correct. So these will be solid, cannot pass through. These I can jump through. These are completely solid. And then these are hollow, completely empty. And you can see that. You can hover over it, completely blank tile. Part of a midway point. Oh, I did 30, not 31, 30. That was my mistake. There we go. Ledge Mario can stand on. Gray cement block. Completely blank tile. There we go. And so that's that's essentially how you add in extra little tile set things that you want to use in your level. It can be very easy to do and very challenging to do. You pretty much just have to kind of work with it, get it the way you want. Working with the whatever I'm trying to say. I am all over the place right now. Yes. But working with all of this stuff here and there. Here we go. So, working with palettes, working with the remap function. There's many ways to do this. One of the other ways is to actually going into an external program called YYCHR and messing around with stuff that way. I will possibly cover YYCHR next time, be the first third-party app outside of Lunar Magic to be used, but it is very worth it. There was a program coming out, I don't know if it's still currently being worked on, that would have rivaled YYCHR, and I would have loved to have used that one over it, but I'm not really sure where progress stands on it right now. I will show it off when I show off YYCHR, just as a comparison thing, because it does, even though it's not as robust as YYCHR is right now, it still works very well and kind of rivals it even at its current state. So I will probably show that off. Like always, if you have anything you would like to see added to the list of things for Lunar Magic 101, feel free to leave a comment. Yeah, this has been Ninja Boy, and hopefully this wasn't too all over the place today. Anyway, see you guys next time.